thing number 5. Gary, I'm going to read it out. DKI reader JB writes in asking us if a digital wallet is the only way to hold his Bitcoin. Gary, I'll let you take it the rest of the way.
All right, Rob. So first of all, I want to thank two people. One, I want to thank JB for writing in. JB, this is a great question. So glad to be talking about this. And I did send you a personal email letting you know we'd be addressing this in the 5 things. Rob, I also want to thank you. All of a sudden, one day I started getting all these questions in my email, and I called Rob. I said, what in the world's going on? He said, oh, we added an Ask Gary feature to the website. I'm like, okay, well, that was a good idea. So because
Marketing
Rob,
is a fancy word for testing. That's what people
yeah,
tell me, and I agree with them.
exactly. But it turned out to be a great thing, Rob, because what it did was invited our readers and our viewers to participate and let us know what's on their mind. And I will tell you guys that if all the questions we've gotten, I have either responded in writing or made them a part of the 5 things. So, if you want to be part of the show, if you want to have your contribution like JB, just, go to deepknowledgeinvesting.com, click the Ask Gary question. And, if it's a good question, politely phrased, we will be happy to address it. So going to JB's question, he wants to know if a digital wallet is the only way to hold his Bitcoin. Again, great question. So the answer is no. It is not the only way. And I want to start by reminding readers, please do not leave your Bitcoin on the exchanges. Now, somebody might say, wait a minute, what do you have against Coinbase? Nothing. Coinbase is a fine business. The problem is that if you hold your Bitcoin on an exchange, you don't actually own it. What you are is an unsecured creditor to a leveraged business that is not secure. It also causes you to miss out on a crucial benefit of Bitcoin ownership, which is having assets outside the primary financial system. So, you can own the ETFs, the exchange traded funds. There are 11 of them, I believe, that you can buy through your brokerage account. But again, remember, if you do that, you don't have control over those assets, and those assets only trade during market hours. That leaves you with a potential liquidity problem if there's overnight or weekend news. So there are better options.
Gary, do you have any in particular? I know you've written a long Twitter thread that's been recycled and shared countless times. Anything you would recommend, different types, or where people can just find more information? I know they can access that thread on your X, and I believe we have a full write-up on the website as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about 3 better options. And also, let's be clear, with Bitcoin, there are lots of options, just like there is with your cash in the US dollar, right? You can hold it in your pocket, in your mattress, in a bank, in a savings account, in treasury bills, in a brokerage account. You have lots of options with cash. It's the same thing with Bitcoin. So let's talk about 3 options that would be better than leaving your money on an exchange. First, a hardware wallet or cold storage. That's a safer option, leaving your coins on an exchange. And you won't be as fast with it, but the truth is, if you're a long-term holder, right, or a hodler, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right, but I've heard it pronounced 2 different ways. But if you're holding it for the long term, it doesn't matter if you're slightly less liquid. It's safer, and that would be a better option than leaving your coins on an exchange. To figure out how to do it, you're going to have to invest an hour or 2 in reading and research, but I think that's a worthwhile investment to understand the system. Now, a second option, and this is one that we've written on, is using a ledger device or other hardware device. And I have posted detailed, easy to follow instructions on how to move Bitcoin from Coinbase to Ledger. Again, I have nothing against Coinbase. I just want your assets to be secure. We will put a link to that thread in the comments here. That thread, I think, originally got something like 500,000 views, which was terrific. And we go through in great detail and make it really simple. I know it can be nerve-wracking for people to move Bitcoin. Everybody worries, what if I do it wrong? What if I send my Bitcoin to the wrong place? We talk people through how to do it. And what you do is you test it with just, a couple dollars worth. So if you do something wrong, you won't be out a lot of money. And then when you feel confident, you can move more of it. Finally, for those of you who don't want to have to, keep track of a ledger device and be responsible for storing it, or for people who want institutional quality, multi-signature storage, where if something were to happen to you, hopefully it won't, but if something were to happen to you, your heirs could access their Bitcoin. I really like the team at OnRamp Bitcoin. We put a link to them in the written version of the 5 things. The team at OnRamp Bitcoin, and I've done a number of webinars and podcasts with them. They have a high quality solution that can make it easier for, again, if something happens to you, for your heirs to access your Bitcoin. And so they, if you're running, like, say, a family office and you want an institutional quality solution, I would reach out to OnRamp Bitcoin, talk to them, see if you're comfortable with their solution. But, I think the team there is really terrific. And I know those guys, and think they're, it's worthwhile to talk to them. Now, Rob, there are lots of options here. And whatever path you choose, just remember the Bitcoin mantra: not your keys, not your coins. If you don't have control of it, if you don't hold the keys, someone else does, and those coins do not belong to you, and then you are a creditor. So I am just encouraging everybody, put some of your assets, not everything, but some of your assets in Bitcoin, and learn to store safely. Again, reach out to Deep Knowledge Investing. We're happy to help if we can.